Hey guys,
What's up, G?
wanna go to Chachki's? Get some coffee?
Oh, it's a little early.
I gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna lose it.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Huh.
Yeah, I think you would. This is my opinion of Mondays. Got the old fart blaster out. It's not a Monday without the fart blaster. You gotta have the fart blaster going on. Can't take everything too serious, you'll freak out. I'll freak out. Good morning, happy Monday. Sorry, my apologies. It's not my fault. I didn't make it Monday. It's got nothing to do with me. I hate it as much as you do. It is what it is. So what's going on? Anything in the news today? I haven't been paying much attention. I didn't see if there was anything going on that we should keep track of. We'll see, I guess. I don't know. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I want everybody to take a second and just, I say this like, it seems like I have to say this. Not that I have to say it. It's all my fault. Well, that's messed up. That's messed up. How would you say something? Like, why would you say that? I say this more and more lately, it seems like. Hold. Everybody just hold. The fog of war is really thick right now. It's really thick. I can't get this thing to sit straight. It's really thick right now. And it's hard to tell what really is going on. You know, you got people, obviously, you have the left out there saying, oh, this is the worst thing ever. This is a nightmare. It's going to be World War III, blah, 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 blah. They could very well be right. I can't see the future. And then you have MAGA turning on itself all over the place. But we need to hold. It's important. So I was thinking last night, something crossed my mind that was like way out of the box, right? Now I always say that I am America first, right? I'm not interested in defending a man. It's not my job. I make it a habit not to have to defend anybody. When you get into those areas, you have problems. It's not a good idea. However, there is now a power vacuum in Iran. I haven't heard that term since Iraq. I think these dang levels right. Okay, so let's consider all options. So I was sitting around last night and I'm thinking about what's going on in the world. I'm like, it's blah blah blah, and how Trump plays 4D chess and is typically way ahead of everybody else. It seems like, at least it does to me anyway. So I got to thinking, and I was like, you know what? The idea dawned on me. And we should consider all options. What if, I know, so there are going to be some people out there, minds are going to blow. What if Trump was a tyrant? What if? What if? The reason that dawned on me because, let me back up. I said the other day that I have some level of trust in Trump, and I do. There's been a couple occasions where I called out what he was doing. I didn't like it, and I turned out to be wrong. There's other occasions where I don't think I am wrong, but I've turned out to be pretty wrong considerably. That gained trust in him. It improved my trust in Trump. However, like, you should be able to trust your government, but you can't just trust them. It's that whole trust but verify, like Reagan used to talk about. So, under that, guys, let's play devil's advocate here. And Trump is the despot. What if Trump went into Venezuela and took Venezuela, the biggest cache of oil in the world, I believe, because he knew that when he went into Iran, they will do what they always do and close the Straits of Hormuz, which is where 20% of the world's oil and, I believe, natural gas goes through there. So that always messes up the world, the economic, and then the other countries start going, no, just leave them alone because their prices are getting messed up or whatever. Pardon me. Still a little bit sick here. Can't shake this dang thing. Anyway. So what if he took Venezuela just because he knew that when they close the Straits of Hormuz, that might put more pressure on America as far as the gas prices and things like that, which typically makes the people not support, right? That's an interesting angle. I thought I was thinking about last night. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, if he knew that he was going to go into Iran, I mean, of course he did. And he knew how they always act. They always close the Straits of Hormuz. It's one of their biggest weapons. So maybe that whole Venezuela thing was a build-up for Iran, so it wouldn't affect us as much. Or maybe he's just trying to take over the world. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I know there's a lot of people on the left that do. However, the one thing that really does concern me about this whole thing, after hearing Netanyahu talk a bit, he said, Netanyahu went on the other day and said that I think it was yesterday, and said that the raids or the planes and the attacks in Tehran will escalate in the next few days. Said he's finally achieved what he's wanted to achieve for 40 years. Is he bloodthirsty? He's hated that regime for 47 years. He's hated them for 47 years. I can only assume that Trump has, as he said, many off ramps out of this conflict. Let's hope that's true. I don't believe that Netanyahu is going to be someone that you can just turn off. I'm not sure that's going to be the case. I have a feeling he wants to go in there and just completely obliterate them. What's going to happen if Trump's like, "Oh, that's good," like you're out there with your buddy and he's fighting somebody, he's just pummeling him, and you're like, "Come on, stop! You're gonna kill that guy. Come on, get off there." Is it going to be one of those situations? I hope not. And then you got Iran attacking all these other countries because they want those countries to attack them. They need that. They want that chaos. It's really the only way out for some of them at this point now. I was watching something last night, and it had a guy named Scott Ritter, a former UN weapons inspector in Iraq from 91 to 98. It caught my eye because I was flipping through or whatever, and I heard him say, America is going to lose this war because we're going to run out of ammunition. And that got my ear. I was like, what? America run out of ammunition? So let's set the table a little bit, right? Scott Ritter is no fan of American administrations. He's often been critical of U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East, of NATO, and related issues. He resigned in 1998 in protest, although the inspectors also pulled out in 1998. He resigned in protest in 1998, and then the inspectors in Iraq pulled out in 1998. So I haven't gotten the months for that, but pretty close. So in protest, they were quitting anyway. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Was his resigning kind of like John Kerry when he threw those medals over the White House fence or gate when they weren't really the medals? Remember, he threw those fake medals over so he could look like he was throwing his real ones over. Anyway, so he resigned in 1998, arguing that the U.S. and UN had shifted policy away from genuine disarmament to regime change, and that hurt the containment and effectively undermining the inspection process. Okay. At that time, he publicly stated that Iraq still posed a threat and was not fully disarmed. In 1998, that's what he said. However, in the lead up to the 2003 U.S.-led invasion of Iraq, Ritter became a vocal critic of the Bush administration claims. He argued that Iraq had been fundamentally disarmed by 1998. Wait. Now, I'm no fan of Bush or what he did there. I think that was horrible. I think it was whatever. I don't like it. But in 1998, listen, in 1998, he said Iraq still posed a threat and was not fully disarmed. But in 2003, when he was against the invasion, he argued that Iraq had been fundamentally disarmed by 1998. Which one? Did they pose a threat still, or was it, which one was it? My assumption is they both could probably have been true. You could have left some behind. It was still a problem, whatever. I'm not going to get too caught up on that, but it just seemed like an interesting contradiction to me. So he thinks that we're going to lose because we're going to run out of ammo. That just seems silly to me. I don't believe it, but I am concerned. To be fair, I don't like this. To be honest, I don't like this. But we're here now. There's a lot of benefits from this. It's easy to point to all the celebrations. I have some videos here of the celebrations in Iran and all across the world of people celebrating this evil dictator's death. There's some good in that. That's, you can't really deny it. And what the president did was legal. There's a lot of people arguing that it wasn't legal, but the U.S. Constitution grants Congress the sole power to declare war, while the president serves as the commander-in-chief with the authority to repel imminent attacks or protect vital national interests in emergencies. The 1973 War Powers Resolution further requires presidents to notify Congress within 48 hours of initiating hostilities and withdraw forces within 60 days unless authorized otherwise. Which kind of hurts us because, maybe Iran's going, oh, they only have 60 days. Just hold on. They'll have to leave. I'd rather they just finish the job at this point. They've created a power vacuum. Now what? Now what is this? We need a clear goal. A clear goal. We need to know what winning looks like. What does winning look like? What are we aiming at here? How long do you want to be there, Mr. President? And how long do you believe we will be there? Because I don't think those two are the same answer. Trump said in his video yesterday when he updated everybody that the goals were to eliminate Iran's nuclear program. Did we do that already or no? Now we got some spots. Maybe it was just, not 100%. I don't know. But that's to ensure Iran never obtains a nuclear weapon by destroying related facilities and infrastructure. Destroy missile capabilities. They want to raise Iran's missile industry and arsenal to the ground. Okay. I can understand that, I suppose. They want to annihilate the Navy. They want to completely neutralize Iran's naval forces. Military targets, I get. They want to degrade proxy networks. Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, and more. They want to prevent Iran's axis of resistance, groups like Hezbollah, Houthis, and militias in Iraq, from threatening U.S. forces, allies, or regional stability. Maybe we shouldn't have so many bases there. I don't know. And the dreaded facilitate regime change. Those of us with any gray hairs know that regime change is often disastrous. We don't understand their culture. We don't understand the Middle East. We act like we do, but we do not. We cannot go in there and say, we tried this in Iraq already, right? We already tried this. Weaken the regime to the point where the Iranian people can, quote, take over their government. Framing this as historic opportunity for freedom after 47 years of theocratic rule, Trump explicitly urged Iranian security forces to surrender and the public to rise up. That would be great, because if that's the case, if we go in there and we do this and we get out of there, we come back home, we're out of there, it's not some drawn out long BS. We're not there to, he said, we'll be there to help you. And that makes me a bit leery. Trump was way super against the Iraq war. He doesn't seem to be a fan of war. At least that's what he says. I believe in peace through strength. So taking these small military actions, I really don't have much of a problem with some of these smaller military actions that he's taking. I think the hypocrites that do have a problem with it didn't say nothing when Obama dropped 26,000 bombs on like 9 different countries, I think it was. I forget the number of countries, but it was a lot of bombs that he just dropped without any congressional authority. all those goals seem a little vague to me. They seem a little vague. I'd like to have specifics. I understand in a war like this, you can't go out there and, like, for instance, if they searching terror cells in the United States, they can't go out there. But oh, there's 623 terror cells. Here's all the addresses. We're not privy to it. We don't have to be privy to everything. That's why we elect people. We have to have some level of trust, though. There has to be some level of trust. If there isn't, then they go bye-byes, typically. But at this point, what are you going to do? This last term? Those all seem vague. And as far as the nuclear thing, didn't we already kind of eliminate that? I don't know. Yes, then we say no, then we say yes. Degrading the proxy networks, yeah, that's I like that, but where is the goalpost for that? Are we eliminating all of them? Or are we going to beat them into submission so that they can then go hide and rebuild themselves and come back again like they do over and over and over again? I don't know, because Iran raised radicals and then they sent them out. If they're not raising radicals, maybe that dies out. I don't know. Their funding would. That's pretty big. I don't expect President Trump to tell us everything. I don't want him to tell us everything. There has to be secrets in war, clearly. You can't just, we're going to hit them tomorrow night at 7. You can't do that, obviously, right? To some people, it looks like he's doing shady stuff and then he's turning around and telling us about it. But that's just how it works. Some people don't understand. You can't publicize military exercise plans out onto the internet and expect them to be effective. That's just common sense. However, the part that I don't know if it makes me nervous, I just kind of expected it one day. I've been saying this for probably since the Obama years. But we are aware there are cells of terrorists within our own borders. So unlike previous conflicts, America will have to fight some of this war on its own streets, I believe. Mass shootings are already starting. One in Cincinnati, one in Austin. I think there was one in Iowa. Let me see. Sources indicate that 3 mass shootings have occurred in the United States in March 2026 so far. These all took place on March 1st, 2026. March 1st, Cincinnati, Ohio, 0 killed, 9 injured. Austin, Texas, 2 victims, or 2 killed, 14 injured, plus the suspect killed by police, but not counted in the victim total for the definition. And then one I didn't hear about before was in Marshalltown, Iowa. 1 killed, 3 injured. Details on that one is still coming out. Everyone agrees. Experts, I hate that word. Experts. What makes you an expert? Whatever. Experts agree. Experts agree. 9 in 10 dentists agree that Hezbollah or Iran or however certainly maintains small cells in the U.S. with a presence dating back decades, potentially bolstered by border crossings during the previous administration. Think about that. That's part of the reason that we didn't want an open border, because terrorists can just come in. They can just walk in. No one's going to stop them. They can carry in whatever they want. Weaponry, etc. So how can we really know? How can we really know? How do we really know if what's happening is really happening? And how do we know if the reasons behind it are actually the reasons behind it? How do we know what the status of the war is? I don't like that word. The media. Now that's a tricky one there, isn't it? The media. But they have proven over and over again that they are not trustworthy. I just seen this clip yesterday from CBS. Reporter that was told not to focus on the crowd behind him that was celebrating. Oh, there we go. The Iranian, the death of the supreme leader. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Think. It's a text. They hand him a phone, and it's got a text on there that's telling him, "Hey, don't focus on the people celebrating this behind you." The media, right?
What does that mean? It means they don't want us to focus on this. Well, I am.
Good for him. Good for him. Good for him. Man, we need some more honest media. We need more honesty in the media. I was just talking to my wife yesterday about how X is important because you have citizen journalists out there actually doing good work. There was a lady I saw yesterday had put out a whole big thing on Thomas Massey and a background on where his money and donations come from. It was a long story, but it said that he got, in 2025, it said he got 79% of his donations came from Democrats. I need to look into it. That's why I'm not really getting into it today, but I need to verify it. I need to look into that and see if there's some truth to that. But holy moly, if Thomas Massey, one of these swing votes, is controlled by the Democrats, Democrats wouldn't be donating if they thought he was a Republican. Let's just be real, right? That just wouldn't be happening. The media is the only thing that we have to rely on to tell us the truth. And they usually don't. So that kind of boils down to, well, why get all worked up about it? Why let that ruin my day? Seeing there's some other fake news going around with this. Like there's this guy that's passing this. I never seen anything like this before. It's pretty odd. I saw this circulating on social media. Oh, security alert. All U.S. service members, turn off your location on all electronic devices. Specifics cannot be detailed, but are from credible sources.
Trust me, bro.
There are active threats against the U.S. military in CONUS. In addition to the following apps are considered compromised: Uber, Talabat, and Snapchat. I don't know. It could be right. I mean, it could be real. I don't know. I don't think it's real. It doesn't seem real. But then what seems real nowadays, What seems real nowadays? The bottom line is, we don't know. We don't know. You have to have some level of trust in your government. Trust but verify. Trust but verify. You got to verify. So that's my opinion on that. We need to keep our eye out. We need to pay attention. For all we know, I don't know the man. And I don't believe this to be the case, but for all we know, he's a despot. Maybe he's a tyrant. We don't know. All signs to me point to no. So far, this Iran thing's a little tricky. He's going to have a lot of problems dealing with the people because those soldiers died. God bless and pray for those soldiers. 3 soldiers and 5 were injured. They haven't released any, as far as I know. I didn't look this morning, but they haven't released any specific details about those soldiers. People say, oh, they're going off to die for Israel and blah, 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 and this and that. But I don't have a lot of sympathy for the military right now. It's not like it was in Vietnam or anything. I don't have a lot. They signed up. I signed up. They signed up. You knew what could happen. I'm not saying ha ha. I'm just saying you knew what could happen. You knew that you could be deployed somewhere in the world. You knew that you were signing a piece of paper that said they could send you somewhere to fight for them. When I was in the military and I got this tattoo on my arm, they almost court-martialed me. You know why? The charge was damage to government property. We are their property when you sign up in the military. It's a scary thing. I don't like the way that sounds, but that's what it is. That's a scary thought. But again, the military guys, they signed up for this, man. They signed up, not for this specifically, but they signed up and they said, if you want to send me somewhere, send me. Send me. They're heroes. Good on them. We need more men like that out there in the world, and women. There's no way that we can find out the truth on our own. We cannot do it. I can't go to Iran. I can't interview people. We have to trust the media. The media is the key to controlling the people. It's always been the key. It's only in the last 15 years or so that the people are finally starting to wake up to the fact that the media, much like most of the government or the people in it serving you, hate you. They don't give a damn about you. Most want to secure power, increase power, become the face of the party, get out there in the front. I'm more interested in the Congress people that are in the back that you don't know their names. You never really seen them before. The ones that go there and do their job and then go home. The bottom line, you got to trust them, but you can't trust them, right? What are you going to do? You can sit here and go, oh my God. Oh, but that's not going to help anything. You can't just be a blind patriot. That's no good. So as far as that goes, there's not much else you can say. Getting something queued up here. We are at the mercy. We're at their mercy. We don't have a choice. That's why it's so important to watch the media and make sure that we keep them accountable. I'm going to check out the chat here before I move on to the next topic. Where are we at here today, guys? Happy Monday. Again, my condolences that it's Monday. What we got here? Oh, can I fart into the hat? Wow, that's the all right. Can't just create your own reality and input it into the real world. Yeah. This may be the first time we disagree, Max. I think Trump knows what he's doing. I let me word that a little bit more carefully. I was just doing the devil's advocate. I still think that he's 4D chess playing. I still think that it's more likely that it's just he knows exactly what he's doing. I do. I was just contemplating devil's advocate there, and I'm like, oh, that Venezuela, and I just don't want to. I was wondering, like, looking at it from the point of view, like, is this going to be something that I look back on one day and go, damn, it was all there. The signs were all there. Now, I don't think that's the case, but we should always keep all options open. You can't just go down the road of, support. You have to trust but verify kind of thing, right? And it's important to consider different ideas. So I don't want to come off like I'm all in for I think it's all bad. I'm not a fan, to be honest, but we're there now. That's where I'm at with that. Now get it done and get out. That's kind of this regime change is different though, because the Iranian people really want their government to fall so that they can take over and get out from under the Islamic terrorist regime. Amen. I hope that's exactly what happens. I really do. And at this point, I still think that's what's going to happen, but I realize how tricky these situations are. There are so many moving parts, and consider that we don't understand their culture. Remember Iraq. We all have been lied to. I'm not sure that we've been lied to. You have to understand too that there's got to be a level of secrecy on the military operations and stuff like that. You can't just come out and tell everybody everything. And if the media oftentimes in these situations will use those to call the president out, because he can't come out and tell everybody what's going on, because that would sacrifice military intelligence or put people at risk or that kind of thing. So he has to remain quiet while the media goes out there and lambaste him over different things and just destroys his reputation or whatever, tries to, What we got here? Trump didn't terminate the Constitution and patriotically unite the separation of powers just so some entitled people can feel like they have some free right to express criticism of him. Okay. How many countries have said not to close the oil port? And how many countries have said not to close the oil port? I don't know. I imagine everybody. I imagine everybody. So as many 60-day wars as he wants. No, I don't. I mean, no, but I guess technically he could, next time the Epstein files are brought up, Trump will bomb the moon. I really don't. Until it's proven, I won't. I'm at the point with the Epstein files that I don't believe that Trump is guilty of anything in those files, because there has been no evidence. There's been nothing. A couple accusations with no proof, and some were investigated by the FBI and found to be not credible. Pardon me, found to be not credible. So I don't think that it's got anything to do with the Epstein files. Yeah, I don't think it's got that much to do with it. It's a good. Let's go down to the bottom, see what we got here. Bottom of the chat. You are government property when your parents sign you up for a birth certificate. I don't think so. My son's recruiter told us he would be going to Afghanistan. Is that Army, Marines? Just curious. To be fair, they did not court-martial me for that tattoo. It was just they threatened to, because my captain didn't like me very much. There's a lot of reasons for that. Where are we at here? I'm amazed that people still trust a government that hasn't worked for the people in 80 years. I don't know. Are you willing to die for him? Am I willing to die for Trump? I'm a bit old now. I'm not sure they want me on the front lines. Of course, you never know. Somebody out there with nothing to lose, right? 2010 was when my son enlisted. America was created and manipulated for gradual mass control. Hey, can you denounce Israel for us? My feelings on Israel have changed quite a bit over the last year or so. I'm not anti-Israel, but my eyes have been opened a little bit. Kind of indifferent on the Middle East at this point. I don't know. We get all kinds in here. I think sometimes with the early time, we might catch a couple progressives from the left coast that have maybe are still up, coming down off of whatever they were on. That's funny. You know what happens when a politician takes Viagra? He gets taller. My son told me a joke yesterday. He said, "What's heavier, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers?" And you say, "Oh, it's the same thing because it's both a ton." And he said, "No, the ton of feathers weighs more because you have to carry the weight of what you did to the birds." I'm like, that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Good morning, Faith. See? Take your Trump knee pads off. You have no clue what's in the files. Then that means that you don't have a clue what's in the files. I've spent some time searching the files. Maybe I do have a clue. It's not that you can't just say, "Oh, you disagree with me. That means you don't know anything." No, I've researched the files. I've done quite a bit on there. Also, the Democrats had it for 4 years and didn't do anything with it. Why do you think that is? That should be enough right there. Marines. Hooah. But those ones who say that love getting government, right? Government assistance mags. I would die for freedom, family, country, and God. Agreed. Agreed. I think Israel, the greatest president. They have, where are we at here? Would have been better without a we would have been better without a president doing those for you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's because Trump not releasing all the files. We understand that it's not like it wasn't Biden and it's not Trump that's deciding to not release the files or release the files. It's the DOJ. They're supposed to, and they're not always, but they're supposed to be separate entities. The president isn't supposed to have any control over investigations and things like that. So, yeah. Yeah, nothing to worry about. So, hey, anyway, we were talking. Then the next subject, but I was talking about men and women earlier. The next subject was. I mean, it wasn't a very subject. I just wanted to play this video because I think it's just ridiculous. This is in reference to the conservatives being outraged at Ilhan Omar and some other people with no impulse control at the State of the Union address that were yelling out horrible things at the president of the United States on live TV that was seen all around the world because they can't just have any decorum or anything like that. So let's see what this person says. This man here, this man in a women's blazer, what he has to say about that.
We will not take a lecture on decorum from a party that incited an insurrection.
Doesn't that mean that maybe we won't take a lecture from someone who doesn't even know what they are?
We will not take a lecture on decorum from a party that incited an insurrection. I appear to live rent-free in the minds of some of my Republican colleagues. I wish that they would spend even a fraction of the time that they spend thinking about me, thinking about how to lower the costs for American families. I wish.
This is how they inflate their egos. They make themselves seem bigger than they are. Trump's always thinking about me. This dude says it, and then like Jasmine Crockett's out there saying it, and Omar's out there saying it. He's just always thinking about me because I'm super major important in the party. So push me to the front.
For American families. I wish they would spend a fraction of the time that they spend thinking about me, figuring out how to make government actually work better, rather than making it work worse in order to prove that government can't work.
What you could do is get the hell out of the way. We don't need a full-time Congress, to be honest with you. What was it in the olden days? They used to come in for a few months and then go home. And then when they went home was the interesting part, because what they had to do when they went home was obey the laws that they just approved. They had to go live under the laws that they created. Unlike today, where they don't really have to do that.
They are obsessed with culture war issues. The Republican Party is obsessed with culture war issues. It is weird and it is bizarre.
This is coming from a man in a women's outfit, wearing high heels and pretending to be a woman. Is this real?
Obsessed with culture war issues. It is weird and it is bizarre. And the American people deserve serious legislators, serious elected officials who are focused on bringing people together to deliver real results for the American people, not to play games and not to engage in schoolyard taunts.
Oh, what a great speech, sir.
We will not
That
take
was an amazing speech, sir. I bet. What a great speech.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care.
What's the message to Iran?
Don't.
Don't.
Mr. President,
Don't.
to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care.
What's the
Do I think Pam Bondi's going rogue? I don't know, but I really don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like her at all. It is what I'm going to tell my kids that this is the Hodge twins. That's Milli Vanilli. If you don't know, look it up. Milli Vanilli. Everybody should know Milli Vanilli. Come on. They're legendary. They won a Grammy. They won a Grammy. God bless your soul. God bless your soul, too. I do believe the Epstein files started in 2006, which means the Democrat Party had access of the Epstein files for 12 years. Yes, and they were in control during at least 4 of those. Complete control, right? There wasn't anything in it. Why do you think they were making up pictures and they took that one picture. I should have gone. They took that one picture of Trump standing there with a bunch of women. These were women that were in one of his pageants. They took that picture. They put black boxes over the women's faces and then put the photo out saying that he was with, these were underage girls. They've done that on numerous occasions now. If that doesn't make you trust what they're saying even less, why not? They've lied over and over again about the files. Do you really think if there was something solid, something provable in there, that they wouldn't have gone after it like full speed ahead? The idea is ridiculous. The idea is ridiculous. It's the Democrats that make us trust this man. Do you get it? Their endless investigations for 10 years. I think they spent like $35 million just investigating him. And this was being done by people that hated him. That all they wanted to do was get Trump. And they found nothing. Nothing except for a few invalid ledger entries. Here we go. These people trying to distract with the Epstein files, right? I mean, the Epstein files are. I'm so conflicted on the Epstein files because on one side, you got people that it's just so tricky because they've been through so many different hands, and you almost can't trust most of what they say in there anymore. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't think anyone's going to be held accountable, which is a travesty. And we should be out there in arms yelling and screaming about that because, damn it, somebody should be held accountable. We also need to consider that some of these victims aren't actually victims. If I'm not mistaken, at one point, I remember we as a country were wanting a president that is different, someone not in politics. It took all this time to get it, but he is here now. Let him do his job. Yeah, I don't see this. I don't see this like I saw the previous Middle East engagements. I see this as different because we have a different leader in there. So I could be naive. I don't know. I don't want to be naive. I'm trying to understand everything. I'm trying to be honest. If Trump's effing up, I will call it out. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's okay. It's okay because it's Trump and you know, he should be able to do what he wants. No, not at all. There's still a constitution. There's still laws to be followed. And so far, so good with that, as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, this one makes me nervous. A law will save you from Trump. I mean, I don't know. I disagree. That's all right. How come they never complained when inflation was at 9% under Biden? Because it was Biden. You know that. You knew that before you asked that, Julius. You already knew. What am I doing answering your question? You know. Come on now. No, you know that. I know actually that they are legally required to release them. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. There's only been 58% of the Epstein files have been released. For the ones in the back that are hate watching, that's just over half. Just a little bit over half. I would love to see all the files. I would love it if they would just release them like they did the JFK stuff, dump them all out there, let the people go through it and figure it out. I'm all for that. I don't have a problem with that. There shouldn't be anything to hide. Unless there's like state secrets that we don't know about or something like that they can't release. I don't know. I know that if you diddled kids, you should be under the prison. I know that. I know that there's a lot of lefties out there that really, truly believe because they've been convinced that the right is evil. Remember, the right believes that the left is stupid and the left believes the right is evil. The Epstein files are, I don't know. The Epstein files hopefully come out. Hopefully they come out. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I hope they come out. I don't like Pam Bondi. I think they need to get rid of her. I'm not really a fan of Cash Patel, to be quite honest with you. They cannot with some if it's under investigation. Okay. Oh, right. That's a good point. As long as eventually stuff all comes out, but if they're investigating, you know what would make the people go, oh, they'd probably stop going, release the files, all that stuff. Why? If somebody got arrested. If the people really thought that the government was out there actively working on this investigation and holding people accountable, the cries for the Epstein files to the rest of the Epstein files to be released would be quieted. Simply because the people see action happening. I'd just like to afford health care. Instead, I get more Americans dying for Israel's problems. It's a fair point. You know, it's a fair point. Now, I said if they were done under Biden's term, why didn't Biden release them? Huh? As you dimwits never cared about any of those before Trump mentioned them. They didn't care about them until they thought that they could get Trump with it. They never cared until they could get Trump. It's the same as they don't like kids unless they can politicize them. Yeah, they won a Grammy for lip syncing. I'm behind, I guess. Let me catch up here. Let me get caught up. We need to release the names of the senators. Careful what you wish for. Yeah, we need to be careful.
Cancel.
How about this guy? What do you think about this guy? After reports have come out that 3 service members were killed and 5 are wounded, this former soldier says, "Go Iran."
I'm a 10th Mountain Division infantry combat veteran here to say go Iran, go. This dumb orange motherfucker's trying to cancel elections. He said he can do so if we're in war, and he's trying to do that. And if he cancels elections, someone's going to cancel his ass.
People are unhinged out there. Some of it I understand. Then I mean we have a bunch of stuff we could play of interesting picture here. That would be Candace Owens, MTG, Tucker, all them people. I don't like all the back and forth. I don't like that MAGA's fighting with each other. However, we are capable of doing that. We are capable of doing that. I want you to watch this video. It's like one of the most powerful videos I've seen in a long time.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. I regret to report that both our Jedi Order and the Republic have fallen. With the dark shadow of the Empire rising to take their place. This message is a warning and a reminder for any surviving Jedi. Trust in the Force. Do not return to the temple. That time has passed. And our future is uncertain. We will each be challenged. Our trust, our faith, our friendships. But we must persevere. And in time, a new hope will emerge. May the Force be with you, always.
I like that. That was good. That was powerful. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but we have to remember it's a good thing happening. It's a good thing happening. for the most part. We have to wait and see. We're not going to be able to tell. That's how I think about that. Gotta get the fart gun out once in a while, guys. Amen for peace. Look, there's a war over here. You know, it's you know, the thing is that the people aren't wrong for thinking these things. Like that stuff's happened. MAGA or not MAGA, even just the conservative side can have arguments and disagreements. We need to be able to do that. The left can't seem to do that. They all circle the wagons. That's it. They work together very well. We believe that billionaires get away with recreational rape and murder because of the evidence from hundreds of cases already released. I believe that they also do that. Finds the DOJ couldn't release them because Maxwell's appeal was waiting to be heard before SCOTUS. Duh. So he couldn't release any of them or talk about them or anything. Okay. I mean, come on. I mean, they would have brought it up. At least they would have talked about it if they really thought he was in there. They would have set that up so people were going, wait, we're going to find out that Trump's in there. They could have used it as a tool. Cannot wait to see Iranian beauties out there again. It's crazy if you look at the pictures of Iran in like 1978, man, it looked like America. It looked a lot like America. I agree. I agree. I mean, it technically, yes, it is, but I agree. It's not like, you know, till there's boots on the ground. Hopefully that's not going to happen. But I think it probably will. If we get involved in the planning stages of building up a new government, if we fall into that trap again, I just don't even know. I'm kind of curious. There's been bombings going on still in Israel and all that kind of stuff going on, but I don't see any current. 2 minutes ago. That's not live. I'm just looking to see if there's any live shots of what's going on over there right now. Let's see here. 102,000 watching Al Jazeera. That's America's News. Doesn't seem to be any real live shots right now. That Times Now on YouTube kind of stinks. So yeah, they're pushing the Ayatollah's effigies down. They're doing whatever. What we got here? Let's see the chat again here. I'll be honest, I'm so sick of the left and right fighting each other. We have such bigger problems to worry about. 100%. 100%. I talk a good bit on here. I don't know if there's some new people in here, but I talk a good bit on here about how we need to communicate. Conversation. Debate is not conversation, but we all are trained to debate. We're all trained to not to train to debate, but we're all trained to argue with each other. We're all trained to oppose each other. It keeps us from having conversations. Conversations are how we relate to each other. If you sit down with somebody that you hate, or not hate, but if you sit down with somebody that's on the other side that you dislike, or you know, and you just have a conversation, in a short amount of time, you're going to start to realize how similar you both are. That we're not all that different. Your skin might be black. My skin might be white. Guess what? We still both love our kids. We still want them to be safe. Both of us still want lower taxes. There's a lot of similarities within the American people. The differences are really only like 30%. There's not that much that's different about Americans. And communication is how we get through that. The old conversations over the neighbor's fence. Remember those? No, you don't see those anymore because everyone stays inside their houses now. Neighborhoods are no longer communities. They're just a bunch of houses. Other people don't talk to each other anymore. The only people that helps is the ones in charge if we don't talk to each other. I don't care what your opinions are. I don't care if your opinions are different than mine. I don't care if you're pro-abortion or whatever. I don't care about that when it comes down to your humanity and just having a conversation with you. I had a conversation. I remember last fall, I went to do a job and it was at a house that had this guy. He was like 6'5". He's an LGBT guy or whatever, and he was, dressed as a woman. I didn't treat that guy any different. All I did was stay away from dude and sir and those kind of words. I just stayed away from any of those names. I'm not going to call him what he wants, but I cannot call him something. It's not a big deal. Well, we had a conversation. We shook hands. Whatever. It's like, it's still a person. He still has a heartbeat. He still has a soul. He still cares about people and has those thoughts. I agree, and it's great when it happens. Sometimes hard to find the other player who's willing to converse and not fight. It is, but that's the thing. We're all geared to fight. We're all geared that way. We have been convinced as people, because of the group think, you're in this group, he's in that group, and now these groups don't like each other. You could take two friends, put one in this group and one in that group, and now they hate each other. You see it all the time. You see families breaking up and friendships ending because of this kind of stuff. The groups help us to fight each other. They help us hate each other. I hate pro LGBT people, blah, 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 blah. And then you can meet a really awesome person who might be pro LGBT, and you'll write them off and not even have that relationship because they happen to belong to that other group. And you've been trained that other group is stupid or evil or hates you or whatever. They are a threat to you. That's how they keep us fighting each other. Yeah, people didn't need to tell people who they voted for back then. It used to be private. To be honest, I've tried to have conversations with multiple Dems, but I get told I'm a fascist because I like accountability. You'll have that. There's going to be a lot of people that won't have those conversations with you because they're still geared that way. You almost have to put it out there. And the thing is you have to have this is what gets it. You have to have a small, at least a little bit of trust with each other, because when you go into a conversation, you're a little bit vulnerable. If you're just going to have a conversation, you're not going there with guns ablazing in a big mean debate where you guys start yelling and screaming at each other. No, this is just a conversation. We need to go into it disarmed, understanding that I'm not here to get you. And don't you come to this conversation just to get me. Let's just have a conversation. My gosh, we would all be so much closer if we could just get past all these fights and stuff. There's a man who cured a specific type of cancer in mice, a huge leap forward in cancer research. People attack that man for his looks and not for what he has accomplished. I don't know anything about that. If they don't love America and God, they should just leave, period. I love being out in the country with no neighbors. Yeah, I aspire to that. We have some room, but BLM. Okay. Racist. So BLM is racist. Understood. Gotcha. I agree. I 100% agree with NTH 170 that BLM is racist. That's a good observation. Can we be honest for a second? I mean, I hope to say I'm always honest. I don't lie. I might be wrong, but I don't lie. How do you know how many files? I'm black and I can't stand BLM. Yeah. They didn't, that wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. Why are you playing defense to keep files hidden? It's weird. Oh, I'm not. I said already I'd love to see all the files come out. What? I just said I'd love to see all the files come out. I'd love to see all that. Like I said, they should do like Jay, just dump them out there. Let the people start going through them. There's a for those of you that do actually want to search the Epstein files, there's this really cool website that this guy made, and he called it, he said, I saw the post on X, and he said, weaponize your autism. And he put this database together, and you can search it by all kinds of stuff. And when you search the pictures, it's just a big list of pictures. You don't have to, like on the Epstein files for the government, you have to go in each one, do like 3 or 4 clicks till you get to the picture. Then you go, oh, I don't want to see this one. That's not what I was looking for. And you go back out. It just takes too long to navigate. This website here, Epstein-file-explorer.com. I highly recommend checking it out. I highly recommend it. It's really kind of remarkable. So you should check that out. I'll put the link here in the chat if you're interested. Copy that, put it down here. See? You get to go. I've lost family and friends because I'm conservative and am centralized. It's a shame that politics can split the people like that, but it's gotten to be such a volatile atmosphere out here because of that stuff. I think I did a search. In my research, I found that I think it was 58% had been released. So Republicans have no accountability. You guys are literally a cult. That's a good example of one of those people that just want to debate and you can't have a conversation with because they are convinced that the right is evil. That guy there is convinced that the right is evil. We're all in a cult. So he can write us off and not have to listen to any other opinions because those opinions might actually sway his opinion. But the group he's involved with, the left's training says, don't listen to the opposing voices. Shut them down, talk over them, don't listen to them. Silence their free speech. If your whole game plan is to silence the free speech of the person that you're debating with, you have already lost. But it won't appear that way because in those debates, the leftist person typically is not there to debate the issues. They're there to debate you personally. They're there to shut you down. They're there not to win, but to stop you from winning. That's it. That's it. They silence, they attack, they freeze the target, and they polarize it. Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. If you do nothing else, go online and search up Saul Alinsky's 12 Rules for Radicals and just look at those 12 things. If you do that, if you become familiar with the 12 Rules for Radicals, you will then see, like the Matrix with the numbers, and he could see everything all of a sudden. You will then be able to see most of the left's tactics in play real time. You'll be able to say, I know they're ridiculing. That's what they're doing. Oh, they're holding him up to his own standards. That sounds weird, but read it. You'll see. Just check it out. Saul Alinsky, 12 Rules for Radicals. It's been the left's playbook for decades. I mean, sure, they're a Republican 1%, but Democrats are growing in more social industries. It's called tribal thinking. They can't go past their instinctual thinking and go straight to name calling and or violence without conversation or peaceful debate. Yes, it's all about shutting down the First Amendment and closing their ears. I'm gonna have to get me. I'm enjoying the chat here. You can give me like 2 minutes, and I'm gonna get me a refill real quick. I'm gonna come back and we'll have this chat for another 15 minutes or so, and then we'll wrap it up and get our Monday started because it's Monday. Ooh, Monday. I'm gonna try to find something for you to. It's only 13 seconds long. Let's see. I was gonna try to put a video on just so. There, put this. This is from yesterday in Israel, and I will be back in 2 minutes.
Here you can hear the air raid sirens have started again here in Tel Aviv. People are in bomb shelters at this very moment, and I'm just going to keep looking off as I speak to you here so we can get an understanding of where the incoming fire is located. Look, right now the Israelis understand that this is going to cost something. War is never easy. It's not going to be easy for the United States or for Israel, but they are doing what they can to neutralize the threat from the Iranian regime. We know that President Trump was very clear. He is calling on the people. And just stay with me here. We have interceptor rounds coming off right now to shoot down this incoming ballistic missile fire. Just stand by. These sirens sounding across the city. These air defense systems. There's one there, one you can see just off screen. 3, 4. There are currently 4 different interceptors from what I can see that are chasing down these ballistic missiles and trying to shoot them out of the sky before they arrive here in Tel Aviv. You see with the siren and the interception, you have sometimes just a few seconds in between. And where we were last night, you mean? There's where we were last night, just pan down. And you're going to see in the clouds here some small pops where, again, right there, and you may have just seen it on your screen, those are interceptions taking place.
I'm back. Here we go. All right. Here we are. It's surreal watching these videos, these bombs and missiles coming in. I can't imagine what these people live under over there. Because that is what it's reporting. I'm assuming you're talking about the files. Just 7 minutes ago. All right, let's keep it. Keep it on the board there. I read that there was 58% of the files have been released. That's what my research came up with. There's some arguments going on in the chat over there. If you say something and it's wrong, that would be a lie. No. you can say things and be wrong and not be lying about them. I mean, it doesn't make much sense. Yeah, that was. The right is evil. Why do you think that? When you say that, do you mean all the right? Like all the people on the right? Are you talking about the leadership? Are you talking about just President Trump? Where are we at with that? Because that's a pretty broad statement. And typically statements like that say much more about the person that wrote it or said it than it does about the people they're talking about. Both sides are evil. Yeah, I mean, You're probably not wrong. You can judge a man by his friends. Yeah, good thing he separated off with him and ended up calling the police about him. You know, like people don't know all the details. They put him in the. I saw a news report yesterday where they call Epstein Trump's best friend. I mean, that wasn't his. What? Like it's all about creating a narrative. They have to be like, oh, they're great friends. Yeah, I agree. It came out, I think that there was like 6 million total files. I forget where I read that. I'll have to go back and see where my research or whatever. But I believe there was 6 million. Let's ask Grok. Let's see what Grok has to say. How many Epstein files are there and how many have been released? The Epstein files primarily refer blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Total release so far, nearly 3.5 million pages have been released, made public. This includes a major batch released on January. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say it here, but it's hard to read. I'll have to look into it. I know I read that somewhere. There was like 6 million in total, and they had released like it was like 58% or something like that. So I'll have to research that, but I know they're not all out there yet. They're all from what the government's saying, all the ones they're going to release are out there, which is to me not really acceptable. Like I said, I don't want to use it as a political tool, and the longer it's hidden, the more they can use it as a political tool. The longer they can speculate about what's in it. See, that's the damage right there. Is speculating about what's in it makes people convinced that people are pedophiles that aren't really pedophiles or whatever. Like Howard Lutnick, has he answered for being on the? I assume that was him in the picture. Has he answered for being on the island? As a matter of fact, where he was at was right near that weird building with the blue lines and stuff on it. Notice how that guy said he wanted to argue with a Dem, then he disappeared when a few showed up. They know they can't argue. They will just talk shit in a chat with no opposition. They weak. Okay. I'm not sure. I guess you're talking about people in the chat there, but sometimes people get off because they have to go to work and stuff. It's not always. And I always think we're running from you. Kind of ridiculous. Let's see what we got here last. Incriminating evidence. Trump was nuke Mecca. You have a photo album of incriminating evidence. Well, let's see it. If you were really worried about the pedos, you'd be far more concerned about what Trump is trying to hide. I don't know what he's trying to hide. I don't really get it. I mean, are you suggesting that I support? Oh, that's right. That's the narrative that we support pedos, right? So you say I support pedos because what? Because I said that they should all be released, or because I said I don't like Pam Bondi? Is that why you say I support pedos? You don't listen to anything. You just are trained to hate, right? Just trained to hate. Just trained to oppose. Even if I say things that you agree with, you still want to oppose. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. He fought over a year to release him, got you, blah, blah, blah. Funny, Bondi said that if everyone was prosecuted, the system would crumble. Let it crumble. Let it crumble if that's what we need. That means it's a corrupt system run by pedophiles. So we should probably then burn it down. That's a little scary because, that sounds a lot like Cloward and Piven type stuff. Right? Why don't that person just release that album? Yeah, I'm saying, let's see it. Let's see all that evidence. Agreed. Agreed. You can tell when you read some of these things, man. I'm telling you, go to that today if you have like 15 minutes just to putz around or whatever, go to that website in the chat right there. Go to that website and just search around. Just look around. Just do a couple searches, see who touches who as far as, because it lays it all out pretty well for you. Or go to the government website, whatever you prefer. If you don't trust that private creator or whatever. Yeah, like Faye said, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Ring the bell. What are you thinking? As always, I say you can support the channel. The first thing I ask for is prayers. That's the first thing, because prayers are the most effective thing that I can receive, as far as I'm concerned. You sounded real confident there, partner. I appreciate that. I try to be confident. I know what I'm talking about, and if I'm outside my wheelhouse, you'll see I don't seem so confident, right? And that's all right. Yes, with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is its natural manure. Amen to that. We're never going to have a political solution to our problems. All we have is algorithm. I will say it's a little wild to think Pam is working behind Trump's back to keep files from being released. I mean, she kind of the biggest Trump brown noser I've ever seen. Look into her background, who she's worked for. Look a bit into her background. She is establishment. The establishment tried to take Trump down in his first term. I'm just saying, look into it. Yeah, we'll find out who shot Kennedy before we'll get the names of the Epstein files. The Clintons won't allow it. Yeah, I guess that was an accident. I don't know. I don't get too deep into those kind of debates, because it's like, man, that's all depends on what she wanted to do, but only because I like the beard. Well, thank you very much, sir. You're dumb as rocks supporting Trump still. Well, I think it's all going to come out in the end here. We'll figure it out. And I think that in the past I've doubted it, and he's come through. So I have no reason not to trust him yet, as far as I'm concerned. No major reason. Nobody's perfect. But I am watching closely, and I will call it out if I think it's wrong or whatever. Like, I'm not happy about this whole situation, but now that we're there, let's just get it done and get the hell out of there before it turns into some long ass nation building mission that we cannot win. We do not understand the culture there. We have no business building nations in the Middle East. I don't really have a huge problem with eliminating the leadership, but that creates a vacuum. Now they have an exiled crown prince. Is he going to be able to just step in and take over? I don't know. But if this runs smoothly, I think I can forgive him. I think I can forgive Trump for this, as long as it runs smoothly and we get out of there. It's sad that we had lives lost. It really is. It really is. But those men and women knew when they signed up. Doesn't mean that it's okay. Doesn't mean I support it. It doesn't mean I'm callous and cold. It just is the facts. When they signed those papers, that's what they said. Nobody wants to talk about the Zionist occupation of our government. Well, maybe we will be here shortly. There's no vaccination data for any Muslim country. Yeah. That's what I think Kennedy said that, right? Senator Kennedy. That's funny. I like Senator Kennedy. He's pretty funny. It needs to be handled for trust to be regained to the public. Will never trust them again until. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Arrests need to be made. This is getting a little bit ridiculous. You're seeing actions all across the world, except for in America. I don't know. Just stop supporting Israel. It's that easy. I don't really support Israel as much as I don't know what I've been. My opinion on Israel's changed quite a bit over the last year, so I'm still forming that. Oh, did I? Oh, watch out, man! You skipped over Michael Myers' comment. Do you know the? Let me go back. I didn't know. I didn't know. Or did I already? That. So the jobs I worked in college is the only job I can do. I don't know. Talking about. Oh, I got you. I don't know. I don't know. We do not pay for the. I backed out by accident. Hit the back button by accident. Oh, my dog's barking out there. Monday. Anyway, I want you guys to all remember to just hold. In the end of all this, just hold. We don't know the answers. We don't see the answers. We don't know. We have to put some trust. So hold. Don't panic. Don't throw away all your support you had for over the years. Just hold. Wait. We've seen this happen before with Trump. People get all, I guess, what they call them, panicans. People get all panicked and whatever, and just calm down. You kind of look like you don't believe in the flat earth theory. So I look logical and intelligent. Yeah. All right. So smile at a stranger today, guys. Remember to keep it, just calm down. Hold. Don't get too crazy. Smile at a stranger and pray for your enemies. Pray for your enemies. They need it. Have a wonderful Monday ahead. I'm not panicked because I believe being an actual libertarian, which is a true conservative, I've seen the Republican Party stab us in the back. I don't know how many times. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Republican Party. That's hilarious. I don't believe in the flat Earth theory. If it was flat, cats would have knocked everything off the Earth already. If evidence came out that Trump did actually assault minors alongside Epstein, do you think most Republicans would still support him? Please be honest. I understand why you may not want to answer. Why would I not want to answer that? And I'm always honest. If evidence came out that Trump did actually assault minors alongside Epstein, do you think most Republicans would still support him? I don't. I don't. I don't think people would. That's a red line, man. That's a different than other kind of things. That's stepping over all kind of boundaries. So no, I really don't think they would support him. Yeah, chat is good, getting good out there. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day. Pray for your enemies. If there was somebody that popped into your head when I said that just now, pray for that person specifically and mean it. Be sincere when you do it. You will be rewarded for that. Until next time. Oops. morning at 6 a.m. Taking tomorrow off. You all have a wonderful Monday and Tuesday. And we'll see you back here at 6 a.m. Wednesday morning. Check out MagAmericans.com for info and links. Have a blessed day.